Okay, I'm just gonna go for it. I've got my my reed in there. I've hammered it in. I'm gonna use the anvil on the back of my vise. I've got my cold chisel, and I guess I just kind of tap it. So here we go. It is not working out the way I expected. Well, we'll see. Oh, I gotta open that up a bit. So I don't think hammering the reed in was the right idea. So I've kind of put it in as far as it'll go by finger, with it still remaining flat in the channel there. So I'm also going to try a chisel just to get it in that groove and bend it over a little bit before I try the blunt one. Shoot. Oh, I didn't realize I was still filming. But anyway, I didn't quite finish the crimp. I think I'm finally starting to get the hang of it a little bit. It's in there solid enough that I'm happy for tonight, but it's like 2 in the morning and I'm afraid, like the smacking's kind of loud and I'm afraid I'm gonna wake my wife up. But listen, hear that ring? I think that's a good sign. I think that's a good sign that this might sound kind of cool. So there's, I'll finish it off, see how the alignment comes out. Oop. And try to make the adjustments tomorrow and hopefully have this bad boy finished off. I think it's looking pretty cool. We'll see. All right, we're the next day here. I've got my coffee in tow. I'm ready to finish the crimp. Here's where we left off last night. It's in there solid enough that it's not moving at the moment. And I'm just gonna make sure we have taken up all the spaces in there and basically pounded it in as much as I can. So now that it's day, I can make a bit more noise and we'll get that done. I have no idea if there's a technique to this or if I'm doing it right. I'm just going for it. As I'm doing it, the reed is still staying fairly centered, but it's deflected up and down. So I think I can just fix that by bending it towards the crimp in line with the frame. And hopefully a bit of minimal adjustment with the frame arms, and we'll have something that could possibly be playable. I think I'm gonna move up to a bigger chisel or punch here. Ooh, a bit of the metal just broke off. I think we're still gonna be okay, hopefully. do see a bit of white space in there. We'll see. I'm not sure, but I feel like I'm about as crimped as any other harp out there might get. I mean, it doesn't look the greatest, I don't think, but I did pound on the reed itself a little bit to try and press it into the channel a bit more where it needed to go. I don't think that was a mistake because, I mean, the vibrations, the vibration point is going to be right there basically, and I was only touching the metal that's in the crimp. So anyway, I think we're good. Just maybe a couple more taps. Okay, so a little tiny bit of the metal started to break off on this one crimp here. I was a little worried about that. I did notice after I made the relief cut, which I think was a bit too close to the center, there was a bit of cracking, and that seems to be what happened. I think it was probably just because the frame was cast, so it was a bit defective. There's probably some cracks already there. So I think it's solid enough. I don't want to do any more because I think I'm just going to do more damage at this point. This one seems to be pretty good. I think that's kind of really holding it in place. So I'm just going to go ahead, I think, and call it done and make the adjustments here, trim the tail, and we'll be ready to bend our trigger. See how it goes. So I'm really thinking minimal adjustments here. The gap on the right-hand side is pretty good. I think I just need to move the one on the left because it is touching. And the last few taps seem to have brought the reed into plane pretty good. So I'm just gonna bend that one arm out a little bit and we'll see how it sounds, if we can even get sound out of it. So again, I don't have any flat-faced pliers, so I'm just going to be as careful as possible, and then I'll file it out after. Kids outside playing. See if I can bring the other one in a bit closer now too, just to tighten them up. I think I got that one pretty good. We'll see. Okay, I have to try and make a bit of a difficult Okay, I think I've done making the adjustments of the alignment. I tried to put it on this white cloth here so you can see the gaps, but I think I've got them pretty tight and aligned. Like I'm pleased with that. So now I'm just going to bend that so it's more in plane. Give it a bit of a ring. I'm hoping that it makes a good sound, and then I'll look into bending the trigger and cutting the tail a bit. I'm really happy with the way this is working out. There's a bit of an ugly crimp, but you know what? For the first one, probably not bad. Really doesn't take much to get it back into plane. I'm just kind of bending it with my thumb and fingers a bit, kind of working it, get it as a little bit straight as possible. And I don't know. I think it's probably pretty good. Let's see if I can get any sort of sound out of this. I haven't tried this yet, so. Pretty bassy. Oof, we'll see. Okay. Okay, go time on the trigger. So what I've seen is essentially they just get a torch set up, pair of I do have a pair small of flat-faced jeweler's pliers, and you just kind of hold it in your designated spot, I suppose. A little harder than I thought, trying to hold it and get it in the right spot and keep my hands safe. Not really too sure why, but I'm a bit nervous about this. I've got my hands shaking a bit. I'm trying not to screw up, but okay, first I should have gotten some water ready. But let's see. I'm gonna go get a cup of water. I ended up re-straightening it and trying to bring the bend in a little bit closer to the end of the frame. I was somewhat successful here. Now I'm gonna try the loop trigger, and I'm gonna try a different approach by keeping it on this wood, using my left hand with the torch and just my right hand to kind of curl around the end of it. So we'll see. Oh, still recording. So I just kind of bent it in a little bit more, try to find a little more comfortable spot for playing it, I guess. But I don't know, I don't think I can get much better than that. That's I kind of like it. It's very flowy, rather than kind of a straight edge or a very tight bend there. Didn't mean to do it that way. It's just the way it turned out because it's my first time doing it, but very bassy sounding. Bit of a draw start. I think I can adjust that, so I'll do that after. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut the tail off, probably to right about here, I think. So it's about yay long. And what I saw in the video was he took the torch and just tempered the whole thing and gave it a really cool color. So I think I want to do that too. And yeah, I think I'm just about done. And there it is. Trim the tail. It's off. Tightened up the gaps a tiny little bit, which I think might have given me a bit more volume. But overall, I can play it fairly fast, which is nice. And I like that I can mute the reed, because that's I like that style of play. And see let's see if we got a bit of a draw start on it. Big ugly one. I think I like this, nice and bassy. So now I'm going to temper it. I think it's just going to look cool. My wife's got some coconut oil from her soap making days, and I am going to put this to rest. I think I like it. So to temper it, I'm just going to heat it with the torch until it starts to get a little discolored, like you can see here. And then just going to let it dry. I'm going to let it cool down on its own and call it a day. I'm so far pretty happy with this, so here we go. Getting too close, it seems. Oh, I'm too upside down. I think we'll stop it there. I don't know if I went too far. I don't know if this, I don't know. Looks pretty cool though. So, we'll see. All right, I think I'm done. So I've made some final adjustments. I've been testing it out a little bit. I think I've got it to where it is basically as loud as it's gonna get. It's definitely a bassy sound. I've made some adjustments. It's fairly nice to play. Kids outside. Yeah, if I can, do the double stroke, I can get some good speed out of it. I can mute the reed. Again, it's a bit quiet, but it is a bassy instrument, so bass just tends to be a much quieter sound anyway. And since this was just an antique I picked up off of Marketplace and basically modified, and then took some scrap steel that I had lying around, I feel like I was just kind of a homeless person making this thing, hence the Boxcar in my nickname. In college, I guess I walked into class one day looking like a homeless person, and the professor made fun of me, called me, and somebody shouted out and said, let's call him Boxcar Betts. So that's where that came from. Boxcar Willie from The Simpsons. Anyway, fighting for a sandwich. So, since this is kind of not really a restoration completely, and it's not really, I don't know, I kind of cobbled it together. I didn't totally make it, but I suppose the important part is the reed, which I did make by hand. I'm going to call this one my Boxcar Bass Harp. And let's take it for a quick spin. I think I like it. So, until next time. Oh, by the way, in case you forgot, I do play the drums. I'm in a band. Check us out, please. The Incredible Stimulator. We're on Spotify. See you later.